Welcome to Localization News You Can Use, your daily dose of localization know-how. Today, we're tackling a big reality check in our industry. The dream of localizing everything into every language at the highest quality is beautiful, but it collides hard with budgets, deadlines, and business priorities. We're diving into a framework for localization that helps you stop dreaming and start making smart strategic decisions that actually make an impact. And let's just get right to the heart of it, shall we? The entire idea we're exploring today is built on this one simple but really powerful truth. Not all content is created equal. And because of that, it just doesn't make sense to treat it all the same. This is the bedrock of smart localization strategy. Now, if you're in the localization world, chances are you got into it for a reason. You're passionate about language. You believe in making things accessible for everyone. And you probably started with this big, beautiful, and kind of idealistic dream. And that dream, you know the one, it looks a little something like this. We are going to localize absolutely all of our content into every single language. And not just that, but it's all going to be at the same super high level of quality. A perfect 100% accessible experience for everybody everywhere. It's a fantastic goal. But, well, we all know what happens next. Yeah, reality comes knocking. And it doesn't just knock, it kind of kicks the door down. This is that moment where the passion and the idealism smash right into the cold, hard wall of business constraints, the kind every single company has to deal with. And this really lays out that conflict perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the idealist who wants to translate everything perfectly. But on the other side, the business is staring at finite budgets, impossible deadlines, and a team that can only do so much. The real mission isn't just about the language itself. It's about hitting business goals within those real-world limits. So this is the big mental shift we all have to make. You've got to move from thinking about language as the end product to seeing it for what it is. A really powerful tool that helps a company achieve its goals. Once you make that switch, everything about making decisions gets clearer. Okay, so how do you actually bridge that gap between the dream and the reality? Well, the answer is to borrow a genius idea from the software world. It's an approach called Minimal Viable Localization, or MVL for short. So what is MVL? It's a strategic framework, and it's not about doing less work. It's about doing the right work first. It's all about figuring out what is the absolute most critical content you need to get translated to pull in new customers and actually serve them well, right from the get-go. And the process is actually pretty straightforward. First, you identify that mission-critical content you need for a launch. Step 2, you translate only that stuff, just what's necessary to get your foot in the door. And third, you make sure that's enough to effectively serve those new customers from day one. It's all about being strategic, not just exhaustive. All right, so that's the what. Let's get into the how. The first really practical tool for putting an MBL strategy into play is to create language tiers. And this table is a great example of what that could look like. You're basically building a matrix. So a tier 1 language, that's probably for a market where you have a legal entity, local teams on the ground. You're going to provide full human support and localize all your high and medium impact stuff. Now compare that to a tier 3 market. Maybe that's just exploratory. For that, you might just use machine translation for some help docs and a few key marketing pages. The whole point is to adapt this kind of framework to your own business goals. The second tool, which goes hand in hand with those language tiers, is building a content hierarchy. This is where you start sorting your actual content, not by language, but by how important it is strategically and how much investment it really needs. Right at the top, of course, is your high investment content. We're talking about your main website, those big marketing email campaigns, your ads. This is all your pre-sales material. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and this is it. So the quality here is absolutely non-negotiable. Next up, in the middle, you've got your medium investment content. Think of this as your post-sales stuff, the user interface of your product, webinars, legal policies. The customer is already on board, right? So the goal here shifts a bit. It's less about persuasion and more about usability, function, and clarity. And finally, we've got low investment content. This is your support documentation, your help center articles. Now, think about it. When a customer goes here, they're probably already a little frustrated. They just need an answer, and they need it fast. They're not looking for beautiful, poetic language. They're looking for a solution. So the priority is accuracy and speed, which can often be done way more efficiently. So you see what's happening here. This is the big transformation. When you use MBL, language tiers, and content hierarchy, you stop doing that chaotic, reactive thing, just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. Instead, you're building a proactive, smart strategy that actually turns localization into a real engine for international growth. And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at what you're doing right now and ask yourself this question. Where is our localization strategy actually working? Where is it driving business goals? And where are we just throwing spaghetti at the wall? Thank you for listening to this episode of Localization News You Can Use, your daily dose of localization know-how.